My clothes are showing.
Oh my goodness.
Ah, man.
Okay,
Guess
now
what?
chicken butt.
Yeah.
All right, that's how we start the episode.
That's it. That's it. That's how we do it.
Welcome back,
To the
everyone, to
essential
the Essential
podcast.
Podcast with your host, Trey Queso and Dingus McGingus.
That's me.
Oh shit! I didn't give you a name last time.
My name last time
I didn't.
was
I didn't give you a middle name last time.
Noah Sleepy Green.
Noah Dream Eater Green.
Yes. Okay,
Dream
there we
Eater.
go. That was last time.
All right. I apologize to all the core lore holders of the Essential Men channel. That will
You missed
never,
all the lore.
it will never happen again. Anyway,
I don't know.
this is episode 9.
Woo!
Noah. Next episode is
It's
double
the
digits.
Big 10.
It's the
Holy
big
moly.
number. I can't even
Holy
count that
moly.
high.
It's so high.
Uh,
God. Oh my God, my magic cards.
God, we are in the middle
Sorry,
of
I don't-
recording.
No.
Anyway, I was just thinking, it's like, I was trying to do the math in my head of like how long it would take us to get to episode 100. We'd have to do this for almost, not exactly, but a little bit, almost 2 years for us to get to episode 100 if we do a weekly upload. Which
2 years.
I don't think this channel's gonna make it that long.
Oh my God! If we made it,
If
that
we
long,
make it to 2 years, my
is
God.
that our goal? Is that our goal? Is to make it
Yeah.
to 100 podcasts?
I think I want to make it to 100 podcasts. Then we'll look at the subscribers. And once we see that we've made only 100 subscribers, that's probably when we'll shut
We're
down.
like, all right. Yeah, we're done.
Anyway. So, Mr. Green, it is also currently summer. Did you know that?
Wasn't June 20?
June 21st is the
20?
first day of summer, officially.
Okay.
So we are in the deep of it.
Into the thick of it.
Into the thick of it.
Ah. Like that song.
We don't talk about that. We don't take it.
Okay.
Black
Okay.
But anyway, so Mr. Green, since it is summer, I must ask you, do you have any summer plans?
Well, next week, me and my girlfriend are
Next
going
week?
Yeah, Presque Isle. We're going on vacation. And it's like a couple hours away. So it's not too much of a trip, but we're planning on staying there from Wednesday to like Saturday-ish.
Where are you going?
It's called Presque Isle. It's in like Erie.
Oh, that's my favorite part of Erie.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah, you just
Uh,
Erie.
yeah. I mean, you didn't pronounce it right, but yeah.
I can't do the
So
accent right.
yeah. So there's like lighthouses there, and it's covered in like beaches, and there's a couple nice restaurants there, and she just wanted to go there. She heard it's nice.
Yeah, I
So.
was about to ask, is there a reason she just saw it and on like online and just wanted to go?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. We're somewhat professional here. We have a Anyway,
So
so-
her coworker mentioned it to her, and said that it was her favorite place to go. So after that, Brenda was like, "Oh, okay, we gotta go."
yeah. And how long are you gonna be gone?
Wednesday till Saturday.
Oh, you're only gone for 4 days. I was thinking you
Yeah.
were gone for like a whole week. And then I was
No.
scared about how we were gonna film videos.
No, well, you said that Tuesday we were gonna film.
Yes,
So.
this Tuesday, which to the fans we're not telling the date, but we got an exciting video coming up.
Planned.
Anyway, the reason I brought that up is
A
because
big video.
big video. Big. Anyway,
Okay.
The reason I brought up that is because not only are you going on vacation in less than a week, actually, you're going in like 6 days because
Yes.
you're leaving on Wednesday. I'm going on vacation in 13 days.
Ooh.
I'm going to Las Vegas, Nevada with my father, Frederick Paul Queso Jr.
What a guy.
I'm gonna put a picture of him right here. There he is.
Oh, Junior.
Oh, Junior. I hate it.
Um,
I hate it when you guys call him that. It's just so mean. Anyway, and I was so this me for all the viewers out there. Me and my dad do a road trip. Sometimes we add other members of my family, but sometimes they just don't want to go. But me and my dad do a road trip every year. And today, I was wondering. I asked my dad. I was like, Dad, how many road trips have we done? Like, including the ones that me and you were on. It can also include my brothers and my mom. But how many? And it turns out we have done road trips every year since 2008.
you
So
were a small boy.
I was small. I was 7. So
You were a
that
smaller
means.
boy.
So that means, as of this, after this vacation that me and my dad take, we will have taken 13 consecutive road trips every year. And I
That's
was,
insane.
and first I was like, my God. And I asked my dad. It's like, I wish there was a way that I could look back on these because this is 13 years ago at this point almost. I
Right.
can't remember every road trip we have been on. So I asked him, "Hey, do you know what trips we went on?" He's like, "Yeah, I got a whole Word document of it." So, if it is okay with everyone, you're everyone.
Oh, okay. It's okay.
I would like to go over every trip I would have taken with my dad since 2008, and I will try to think of anything funny from it. So 2008 was the first big road trip we all took. And that was the family's vacation to Disneyland, which was also on my birthday.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday. Nothing really fun happened. I got a cup.
You're at Disneyland. Nothing fun happened.
Okay, no, of course fun happened, but I'm 7. I don't understand anything. It's fucking Disneyland in Florida. I remember I got my birthday gift, of course, was going to Disneyland, but my birthday gift was actually a cup that my brother ended up stealing, and I still don't know where that cup is, and it haunts me to this day.
Damn. That's happened.
So 2009 was a thing that my family does a lot. So my father has a brother. His name is William Queso.
Your dad has a brother?
Yeah, he has an older brother.
When were you gonna tell me this, Trey?
When did you need to know? I have to
You've
keep.
been lying to me.
I have to
the
keep
entire
some
time.
secrets
Our
in my
entire
life.
friendship. You have been lying to me.
Because the first day we met, you asked me the very simple question: does your dad have a brother? You didn't even ask if I had a dad. You didn't even ask what my dad's name was. You just asked if my dad had a brother.
I'm
Disappointed.
disappointed in
You wanna know
dude.
what's funny? My mom also has a brother.
I'm done.
This joke doesn't get any funnier the more we do it. So, yeah, my dad has a brother, William Queso. He, at the time, was living in North Carolina, in Pinehurst, which is known for having a very nice golf course that sometimes the PGA Tour goes on. So, there were some years where we would just end up going to North Carolina. One year I remember my Uncle Billy thought it was a good idea to let me drive the golf cart. And
I'm guessing that wasn't a good idea.
yeah, I didn't tip it over.
Oh, that's good.
And that was the most eventful thing that happened that year. Oh, but then we also went to Baltimore, and that's where my dad found out that I punched a little girl in summer camp, and he got very mad.
You punched him.
All right, let's go.
All right.
Okay, I guess tangent. I was just hoping to put that down as like a small detail, but okay. So, 2009. Trey's parents don't want to take care of Trey the entire summer, so they take him to summer camp. I went to a summer camp in Ransomville called Rec. It was very nice. There were a lot of cool people that did it, and they had a lot of fun stuff for kids.
Mm-hmm.
One day, little Trey is just playing on the playground, and this was like a bigger school. It's not a huge school, but it was like a school with like a bunch of different playgrounds. You get what I mean? Do you get what I mean?
Yeah. I gotcha.
What's with the judgment?
I am just.
All right, let me continue the story. Let me
Trey.
give okay, because there's a reason. Let me continue
Okay.
the story. So, me and these two kids that I met that day, we decided to become best friends, and we played on this playground, and we declared ourselves the king of this specific playground. So the two girls came, and they were like, "Hey, can we play on the playground?" And of course, being the king of the playground, we said no. 'Cause
No
this-
simps allowed.
no simps allowed, no girls. So we kicked them out, and they got really mad. They decided not to bring a teacher. They decided to bring probably a girl that was a year younger than them, who was just, I guess, around their group was known as a very intimidating and scary girl. Like, the two boys that I was with, as soon as they found out she was coming, it was like, oh fuck, we're screwed.
What?
So they bring her, and I'm like, I'm kind of walking up. One of the guys falls off the slide because he's so scared. Other kid books it away, just like trying
I'm
to
just
hide.
picturing all of this in my.
Yeah, because this is exactly how it happened. And little Trey being like, nah, this is my playground. He walks up
You're
to
not
this.
backing
He
down.
walks up to this girl who's probably like up to my chest as an 8-year-old, and I go, and she goes, and I just go like, yeah, and then I got into timeout for like an hour, but I won. It was
Yeah,
a
that
small
was your one and
victory.
only
That
fight.
was my one and only
You
fight,
won.
and I won. I feel so bad for that each and every day, because you know me now. I'm not the type of person to just punch somebody. But at the same time, I look back on it and I was like, that's the funniest thing. Because I remember specifically, I just walked up to this poor little girl who's like this tall compared
Did
to
you
8-year-old
say
me.
anything? Did you say
No!
anything?
I just walked up to her and I was like
Not
this. And I just went, poof. And she just fell back and I was just like, oh. And then everyone found out and I got really depressed. Well, I was really upset because my dad found out. I got angry, and I only got more and more depressed each year from remembering that.
That poor little girl.
That poor little girl. I think her name is Ava. Ava.
Well,
Ava, if
you
you're
have something to
watching.
say, Trey.
Ava. Okay, serious man. Ava, if you're watching this, you have my humble apology. And if you'd like, you may sock me in the face. We may have an even.
I would love to see this.
I don't even know what the fuck's happening with Ava. You know, if she remembers a little, hey, yeah, if there's a girl named Ava out there who remembers an 8-year-old kid that looked basically exactly like me, yeah, Ava, if you're out there and you remember me, you remember how I punched you in the face, shoot me a message. I'll let you sock me. And then, but then we'll be even, meaning we'll have to have a tiebreaker. So
We'll also have to record that.
yeah, we'll also have to record it. So, your people call my people.
Okay.
Yeah.
Call Kyle.
Anyway.
Well, I mean, all right. I have to add on to that little segment of yours. So when I was younger.
Oh, okay.
No. When I never hit a girl or anything like that. It was more of the opposite. So the girls in my elementary school class were the bullies
Yeah.
of the school. they were the nastiest, like meanest things on this planet for no reason whatsoever. Like they would come up to us guys and just punch us or make fun of us. Or I remember one time in like fifth grade or whatever, one of the girls was like, "Oh Noah, you should wear a bra." And I'm like,
My God,
uh,
these are
okay,
ruthless.
yeah, yeah, I know. The one time I had a after I got bit by my dog, the one of the girls slapped it on the back of my head for no reason.
Jesus.
Um, something. They, they always made fun of us, and
It's because they liked you so
well,
much.
so the thing is that later on, and because we still talk every now and then, we're still close to each other
Your
because
old bullies.
we all went to school on the res, and
Yeah.
we're all kind of family. So, uh, we still talk, and at the end of senior year, I brought that up to them. Like, remember when you guys were like really mean to us? And they're like, "Yeah, I don't know why we were so mean to you guys." It's like, okay, thanks. I don't know what to take with that. I thought there was a reason, but there's no reason. You guys were just assholes. That's cool.
So were you ever? Because I've never actually been bullied in my life.
Oh,
Like
I've been bullied.
in elementary school, the farthest I've ever been bullied was the guys in my class were calling me gay, but that's because I think one of two things: either I was acting really gay at the time, or I
Or
actually,
they were gay.
or no, because
It's possible.
this was a Catholic school.
That doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Doesn't
But the
matter.
other reason was probably because I think I said I was gay by accident,
No.
which is
But
I don't look, I don't fucking know. This is elementary school trick. But yeah,
okay.
I don't, to my knowledge, and this is something I need to make sure about. I don't think I was bullied in middle school or high school. What could have possibly happened is somebody was bullying me, but dumb high school and or middle school Trey just didn't really comprehend it, so he didn't really care, and then he just
Mm.
kept moving on with his life. So it might have been I was almost immune to bullying because I was just so stupid.
Maybe yeah. Maybe you just didn't realize you were
Yeah,
being
maybe I was
bullied.
just a fucking dumbass. Maybe I was the bully.
Maybe you were the
Maybe
bully.
I
I
did
mean, you
punch
punched
girls.
little
I
girls
do
in the
punch
face.
girls. All right.
Throughout my elementary school experience, I was bullied like throughout the entire elementary
Well,
school
yeah, you just told me
experience.
you were beating the shit
Well,
out
no,
by
not just
girls.
by the girls, but like,
You see, Noah, this is what
but
happens. You gotta fight back. I believe in true gender equality, and if somebody tries to get on my playground, I will not allow it.
no, like all throughout when I was little, I was always called fat and stuff like that.
Well, you're not fat
So,
anymore.
well, I was always bullied for it. So I turned that into a nickname. I kind of tried making it funny. Eh,
Did it
eh.
work?
I mean, it worked for a while. Like it, I called myself Fluffy, and then turns out that there's a very famous comedian known as Gabriel
Iglesias,
Iglesias.
yeah,
Yeah,
who does the fluffy
and
thing, yeah.
he was called Fluffy, and I this was before I even heard of him.
So you just
And
you inadvertently, without knowing, stole from Gabriel Iglesias,
yeah, yes, I did. I was
or
called Fluffy for a
maybe
while.
he stole it from you.
Maybe he did.
Ah,
Maybe he did. I would be.
Gabriel, we're gonna have to
Give
have a
me
lot.
my money. Give
Gabriel,
me my
we're
money.
gonna be sending our manager Kyle, who was also our lawyer. He'll call your people, and we'll settle this.
Sounds good. But yeah, so I was bullied through there, and then uh I really wasn't bullied in middle school just because after elementary school, so we go from this little small pot of people. Like I think
Yeah,
we were a class of like 30 and then we went to a class of 300.
yeah.
So like we just got thrown into the sharks,
Uh,
which it happened,
it
and
do be like that.
it was really hard to make friends because we joined middle school in seventh grade, and everybody else joined middle school in sixth grade at Wheatfield.
Mm-hmm.
So we at Tuscarora School we went up to sixth grade, and then at sixth grade we after sixth grade we went into the middle school at seventh. So we didn't really know anybody,
Yeah.
it was terrifying, and I didn't feel like knowing anybody. Most of the people were assholes, so
No, I get you.
I didn't really make friends until high school.
No, yeah,
Um,
I can agree with that.
but I did meet Mario and
Mario
Ramon,
and
and
all
I
the
was in a
guys.
couple of yeah, I was in a couple of classes with them, and that's how we met. None of them remember me in middle school. Absolutely none of them. You can ask them. None of them remember me. But I was in like 5 of their classes, and they'll be telling stories from those classes, and
They'll be like
I'm like,
telling it
yeah,
to you, and I was
yeah,
like,
and
I
I'll be
was
like,
there.
dude, I was there. I also looked a lot different. My some of my teachers didn't recognize me. I seen a teacher at Tops, and I said hi to him, and he didn't even recognize me until my sister had him as a teacher, and said, "Hey, have you seen my brother at Tops?" And then he was like, "Who's your brother?" He didn't remember me because I physically changed,
Yeah,
but
you're big. You're a
yeah,
large
I am
man
big.
now.
I am large now. Yeah.
No,
Oh
I
man.
had a I had a I had a
Great ass.
similar thing to you. I mean, I went to a Catholic school my elementary school year. Except we didn't have 30 kids. Are you talking about 30 kids in your class?
Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't have 30 kids in my class. We had 3. Yeah, my 5th grade year, which was when the school ended, which is when yeah, that's as far as the school went. There were 3 kids in my class. I was in 5th grade, the oldest kid in the school.
You had 3 kids?
Yes, it was me, my friend Jesse, and I'm pretty sure a girl named Naomi. Now, basically, here's the deal.
Why'd you say friend?
I'll get into that.
Okay.
Um, I went to the school's called Sacred Heart Villa. I went there from pre-K to 5th grade. Like I went there every year from pre-K, kindergarten, first through 5th, and I liked it. But each year in my class, there was a max of like 5 kids.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm gasping.
The only one that went through pre-K through 5th with me, the only person was a kid named Jesse. He was a guy.
Jesse.
And I can't, it's hard for me to go back and call him a person, like determine him personality wise. Because the only thing I could say
Is he
was,
like an imaginary friend or something?
no, it's, how do I say this? At the time, I never had a problem with Jesse. But we graduated in 5th grade, and I have not talked to that man or seen that man since 5th grade.
So he was just a
Like,
figment of your
literally,
imagination.
after. No, because he exists. Apparently, he tried dating my friend Sam, and then he cheated on her. From what I hear, he's fairly cocky, a little bit different. But it's like, you know what? Man's got to live his life. Hope he's doing well. Jesse, if you're watching this, give me a call. Call my people. I'll call your
Oh
people.
my god. That's the theme of the
That's
episode.
the theme. But yeah, literally, it was only 2 of us that went through every single year from pre-K to 5th grade. One girl that's I'm kind of friends with. Her name's Rhea. She went 1 year, left 1 year, left, came back, left,
I know Rhea.
came back. Yeah, she's nice. I don't
She's
talk
a
to her that
mom.
much. She is a mom, and congratulations, Rhea.
She just had her baby.
I know. Did she just just
She
have it?
just had the
Good
baby,
for
yeah.
her. As I
She
when I saw that, I was really happy. It made me
her,
happy.
the baby's dad
Mhm.
was my old best friend's older brother.
Nice.
So I found I found it very funny. I don't know.
Rhea, if you're listening to the podcast, call my people. I'll call your people.
Call his people.
But yeah, but nobody was really there. We get some new kids. They'd be there for the year, then they'd leave. My 5th grade year was only 3 of us. And yeah, I graduated and I went to Newport where I knew absolutely no one. It was horrible. And then I made one friend named Brandon, and I made one friend named Christian, who were my main 2 friends all of middle school. I don't even know where Christian is now, and I barely talk to Brandon anymore. Brandon, Christian, If you listen to the
College people.
podcast, hit me up. I hope they're doing good. But yeah, I really didn't start making friends either till around, to be honest, ninth grade. Yeah, that sounds about right. High school.
Yeah. The big thing that made me make friends was sports. Sports for me, I made a lot of friends through sports, and then through that, I met their friends, and then became friends with their friends, and then became friends with their
Their
friends,
friends.
and now I forgot all about the beginning people, and now I'm just
Yeah, that's how it happens. Uh, I mean, I made my friends through musicals and choir. That's how I made my group. All right, we went off topic.
that's fine.
Yeah, I mean, hey, we got a good amount. All right, so that was 2009. 2010 was the family cruise.
You went on a cruise?
Yeah, I did. It was to Alaska.
I'm as a person that's not really afraid of boats or water or anything. I'm afraid to go on a cruise because every single time I've seen like something about a cruise on the news or like TV, it's sinking
No,
for some
well, that's
reason.
because it's on TV. Why wouldn't it
Exactly.
be on? Why would it matter if it wasn't sinking? Why would it be
So
on
like
TV if it wasn't
no,
sinking?
no. So that's the point. Is like every time I've seen a cruise or heard anything about a cruise, it was sinking. So I was always had a general fear of cruises.
Now this was really nice. Yeah, we flew to Seattle. Then we spent like a day in Seattle where it was the day in Seattle was great. We went to a science fiction museum. I went on a merry-go-round and I got Subway. It was great. And then
I
we
want
went and then we went and then we went on the cruise to Alaska and it was so nice. I remember one day I just laid in bed with my mom because I'm 10. I'm allowed to do that. And I'm 9 actually. I was 9. I was allowed to do that. And I just I watched The Sweet Life of Zack and Cody. And
Good
then
show.
me and
Good
my brother
show.
shared a room and then we watched and rented The Master of Disguise. And that's I learned how to swim there. Yeah, for all the years of my life on that cruise, I couldn't learn how to swim. I always had to wear pool floaties, and you don't want to be a 9-year-old wearing pool floaties because then people make fun of you. And my dad, I love my dad all my heart. That man can't teach shit. He just can't. I love him. He
He
can
can't
show.
cook.
He
He
can.
can't teach. What else can he
He
do?
can show me how to do things, but not necessarily teach him. It's like
The man can golf though.
he can't. He can't. He can't. He's not
He
good.
can't golf.
He can't.
He can't,
He just goes golfing. Yeah.
can't do nothing right. I'm sorry,
Don't
Jimmy.
make fun of my dad. That man makes more money than you will ever make in your life. Man's a G.
He can announce though.
He can. He can.
Can announce.
Yeah, for everyone who goes to Niagara University, my father is the Niagara University basketball announcer. I love that man.
I did know that.
But yeah, he never taught me how to swim. I don't think he ever tried, to be honest. And instead, a very elderly woman in the pool on the cruise was like, "No, you're doing it wrong. You want to go like this." And then I learned how to swim, and I was really happy.
Just like that.
Yeah.
My grandfather taught me how to swim. I don't I don't remember where we were at. I I remember it being like a hotel, but I don't remember where we went though.
I
But
remember. So at that time, I was watching Dragon Ball Z. I was
yes.
watching Kai. And
Uh,
do you remember that scene on Namek where Gohan's getting one of the Dragon Balls underwater that Vegeta hid? And
yeah.
at one moment he holds it up and goes, "So I thought he was breathing underwater."
You didn't
So my whole thought was I became an amazing swimmer for a whole summer because I was just like, oh yeah, worst comes to worst, I just gotta breathe underwater. I'm surprised I didn't drown, but
so am
I
I.
was so good at swimming that summer. And then my brother was like, "No, Trey, you can't do that. You'll drown." And I immediately became a worse swimmer. To this day, I can barely swim. Like I can. move, but I can't move well.
Yeah, I'm not a strong swimmer either.
But you're a strong boy.
Yeah, I guess.
All right, that was the eventful things. Also, that summer, so my brother Cameron, was a big baseball player. Like not professional, of course, but in high school he would do baseball, and he was part of a travel team. So some summers he would be able to go out and play in tournaments. And my dad would take me and my brother Connor along with us. And me and my brother Connor hated it because we get so hot. We hated it so much that at one point my brother Cameron was in a semifinal game for his team. And this game chose whether they stayed or went home. And then they played the game, and then he must have helped somehow, but they won. They won, and everyone in the crowd was cheering except for two small boys who were crying because they realized they had to stay for another day. It was so unbearably hot. We didn't have our
Oh my
DSs.
God.
We didn't have anything. We could only watch the
You
game.
selfish
It was
boys.
so horrible. It was so hot.
I you know that lacrosse was a humongous part of my life, right?
You kind of went a little bit into it. I didn't know it was a humongous.
I played for 14 years.
That's a lot of years.
Yeah.
Are you good?
Uh, I was. I used to play for a travel league up in Canada, and I played for a travel league in the United States. I started playing when I was 4.
Oh,
Um,
Jesus.
and then one day our goalie didn't show up. So they had extra goalie pads. Like they're really shitty, but they had extra goalie pads, and they're like, "Who wants to volunteer to be goalie?"
And,
And I was like, "Yeah, yeah, sure." So this is box lacrosse, mind you. This isn't field. Um, so I was like, "Yeah, sure, I'll try it." And then I guess I was good, so they wanted me to be goalie every single game. And then ever since then, I played lacrosse goalie. And then it came to when I turned 17. It was the year before our senior year, and I was playing field lacrosse for our school, and then I was also playing a travel league up in Canada that was it's basically semi-pro, and then I was playing for a team that was also in Canada, like the same team, just a different skill rank. So I was playing for 3 teams that year, and it really wore me out. That was when I was in the best shape of my life.
yeah.
Like I was 250. I did workouts every single day. I did freaking 2 practices a day. So it didn't matter what I ate. I was never gaining any weight. So I was in the best shape of my life, and I had school on top of that, so I was just exhausted. So that it definitely turned me off from the sport. It was just so much, and then there was some weekends where I had to stay in Canada for the weekend because of a
Hmm.
tournament, and it was just a lot on me, especially graduating high school. You know, that's stressful enough. You don't know what you're doing with your life. So I decided to quit, and I have not played since.
You haven't played. Do you have any urge to play anymore?
I do. I really do. I do miss it. It's just,
No, no, yeah. I feel like
it's just,
when you
well,
get a
COVID happened too.
COVID did happen. So I feel like when you
So,
get a more
yeah.
like manageable part of your life, like maybe after you're done with school, maybe when you're doing school but you have some free time, maybe you should go back to it.
Well, they actually, the last year that they had the team I played for in Canada was the year after I quit. That was the last year they had it because the coach was the only one that was funding the team, and nobody else was really funding it. Like he was putting all of his money, all of his time, all of his
Yeah.
effort, and he was
And then
just
he lost
he's been
his
doing it.
and
Well,
then he
no, he was
lost
doing
his
it for
best player.
years. Well, no.
And then he lost his best player. It's like, okay, let me try one year, and then it didn't
Well,
work, and they were like, I can't do this.
Well, he was just sick of paying for it all.
No, yeah.
Like paying for the entire team, paying for all the hotel stays and everything for, 28 kids. So he was like, "Yeah, I'm done. Sorry. I'm not gonna do this anymore." So he stopped. But yeah, that was a big part of my life. I miss it. I really do. I would definitely go back, but just now I just can't right now. All right, what's next on your little list?
That was 2010. 2011, we went to another Cameron baseball thing. He did that for like every year of high school, but we only did like 3 of them. Uh, then 2012, we went to Toronto.
That counts as a
Um,
trip.
what?
That counts as a trip.
Well, in 2012, yeah. Well, because we went pretty far in Toronto. I think we even went to Rochester to the National Museum of Play, and that was fun.
That year too.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
okay.
then me and my dad specifically, we went to two places. There are two that were two of my favorite places to go. So as much as I hated going on my brother Cameron's baseball trips, there was one place that was near it, and it was a place called Fun and Stuff. And it was just this weird little thing where they had a go-kart track, they had a couple small little rides, and then they had a mini golf course. And I loved it. It was so much fun. And then we went to Splash Lagoon after that. Which Splash
Yes.
Lagoon peak.
It's so dirty
It
and
is, but it's
hot,
so fun.
sweaty.
And when you're a kid, you don't give a shit.
Yeah, you don't care when you're a kid. Like when you're a slightly larger kid,
Yeah,
it's like,
that's when it gets upsetting.
I mean, kids are just kids are mean, man. They cut.
Yeah.
They'll do anything to get.
Oh yeah,
They're
they'll do anything to
annoying.
get in the ride first. I
Yeah,
remember I got one time at Splash Lagoon when I was younger. I for some reason my dad pissed me off, so I just walked away, and I literally he lost me for like a whole like almost 45 minutes, and when he found me, he was so pissed. I don't think you understand. When my dad gets mad, he gets mad.
well, I mean, I heard him on the Bills game
Yeah,
during
when
the
my
Bill.
dad gets mad, there are several moments. My dad is what I would call a I hope he's not hearing me because this is about the time he goes to bed. But my dad is what I would call a passive aggressive angry person. He's the guy that's like, I'm not mad, I'm just disappointed. He's a guy that's like, he will never yell at you in most cases, but he'll just not talk to you for like 3 days and
I
just
feel like that's worse.
yeah, it is. But there are several moments where he has let out his rage. Most of them were on me and on my brother Cameron, and sometimes on my brother Connor, but mostly me and my brother Cameron. One time when I broke a mirror, which is a story for another day. Um, One time when I didn't clean my room when I was supposed to. And then this time. And then the only other places he gets like angry is during the Bills game. My dad will say words that I don't even think he's ever said in his life. And it scares me each time. If the Bills are losing on a day, everyone in my house knows we can't talk to my dad for like a whole like 2 days because he's pissed.
So funny.
He didn't get pissed when they lost the playoffs though. He because we were all watching together and he was just like, "It's okay, it's okay." Because I think he understood it's like they never got that far in so long. And I think he was
Yeah,
just happy that they got that far. He was pissed.
that was just a disappointing
Yeah,
game, though. It wasn't even a game.
he was.
Anyway,
He gets pissed at every other game though.
so it's funny that you said you got in trouble for
Running away in Splash
no,
Lagoon.
no, 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 not cleaning your
Not cleaning
room
my
when you
room.
were supposed to.
Yeah.
So you're familiar with confession, right?
Yeah.
So so I was going through to get my first communion.
Okay,
And
and you have to get your confession before you do that. Yeah.
first, right? So the priest asked me, right, do you have anything you would like to tell me?
Okay.
And I was genuinely thinking, and I was like, well, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. And I'm like, oh, I know. I didn't clean my room when my mom told me to. Okay. Uh,
80
is
Hail
there
Marys.
is, is there anything else? I didn't listen to my mom when she told me to clean my room.
You just said that.
Uh, anything else? No. Okay. That was done. That was done. That was literally
That
it.
was the only sin you have ever committed to that moment and died.
It was 100% more, but like I just didn't know what else to say, or like I didn't want to. It's some random
Yeah, good. Well,
person that I've never really
that's
talked to
usually how
before.
confessions go. Yeah,
Well, yeah, I was also what, like 10,
that's a yeah.
11.
I was in third grade when you're usually in third grade when you make your first communion.
I was 8 when I had my baptism. So
Oh, so
it,
you were behind the bar.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
All
yeah.
right.
That was
So
it.
that was the Splash Lagoon thing. Then we this was the starting of the period where my dad really wanted us, me and my brothers, to see like every major city in America. So first we went to Boston and we saw a game in Fenway Park because that was the time where I was starting to like enjoy baseball. I'm not a huge fan of baseball, but I played a couple years because my dad had me play like house games. And yeah, I don't follow it, but I know the rules and I know teams that I like. So we went to Boston 2013 and 2014. We went to New York City. That was the first time I ever went to New York City. I have been to New York City 5 times now. I'm hoping to go for a sixth time in December, but I've been there 5 times now. Another big thing about my dad, I love my dad. I need to make this very clear. I love my dad. My dad is a very smart, intelligent person. He is not good with directions. Like around here, oh, he's a genius. He knows like if you ask him where like a house is, he can pinpoint it very easily because he's lived here his whole life. As soon as you go outside, if you don't have a map to some place, you are going to get lost with him.
That's part of the fun.
Yeah, but I don't want to walk 6 hours. And that man will make you walk. There is no drive. Because we're already stuck in the car for 10 hours on some of these trips. As soon as we get out of the car, we don't take the car anywhere else unless it's like 40 miles away. You walk. And there have been
Oof.
moments where we have been dehydrated. Like one time on one of these trips, I can't remember which one, he wanted to go to the zoo. And he was like, it's not that far away. Let's go on. It was 3 miles, and I'm probably like 10 when we're doing this. He made me walk 3 miles as a 10-year-old to the zoo. And then once you get to the zoo,
You have
you
to
have to
walk
walk through
more.
the zoo. So then we walked through the zoo. Me and my 2 brothers and my dad. We're all tired as shit as soon as we're done walking through it. And then as soon as we get out, my dad was like, all right, I'm going to call a cab. We call a cab. We get back to the hotel we were staying at. It was like, all right, that'll be $11. So that whole like 3 hour ordeal that we could have got that we went through to get to the zoo could have been like a 2 minute
To an
drive.
hour a mile.
Yeah, well
What?
I'm 10.
And
You don't know
there's
anything.
10-minute mile,
It
10-minute
was
miles,
it was 10 minute mile. You want me to run a 10 minute
ten
mile
minute miles.
as a 10-year-old?
Yes, I wouldn't expect any less of you.
Yeah, my dad's not amazing when it comes to walking through places. After that, we went to Pinehurst to see my Uncle Billy again, and then we went to Atlanta because I have some family in Atlanta. And then we went to Virginia to see my Aunt Vera. Nothing.
Aloe vera.
Not aloe vera.
Oh, darn, you missed
20,
out.
2016, we went to Chicago, and nothing happened.
So, all right. So I hear you going to all these different cities, right?
Yeah.
What do you do when you just sit there like, all right, we made it to the city, now it's time to turn home?
No. Like, we pick a destination. The destination is usually a major city. And then we walk through it and go to major things. But I just remember in Chicago, there was nothing. I remember
And
we.
extra
I remember.
prime.
I remember we went there to get a deep dish pizza. So we went into a restaurant called Uno's. It was called Uno's. We sat in that restaurant for 2 hours, and we were okay with it because the reason we sat in there for 2 hours was because we ordered our food and our food didn't come to us until like an hour later. And we were okay with it because it was an air conditioned restaurant, and for some reason our hotel reservation was delayed, so we had 2 hours to kill. But we
Okay.
sat in a restaurant for 2 hours just waiting for pizza, and then the pizza came. And to all the Chicago people out there, God bless you. It was horrible. The deep dish pizza was horrible. Like
Oh
my
my
dad was like, "We
god.
gotta go get traditional Chicago deep dish pizza." It was bad. It was horrible. I had to use a fork. I shouldn't have to use a fork to eat pizza.
Yeah, the only place you can eat pizza is Western New York.
That's how it goes.
That is the Okay, so we went to Vegas 3 years ago now. And there's a hotel and resort or whatever called New York, New York. And you go inside and they have a whole bunch of restaurants. They have Mexican, they have Indian, they have any type of food that you would find in New
It's
York
there.
City. It's there, right? So they had this little kiosk of New York style pizza.
Was it bad?
It was the worst pizza we have ever had, and it was like $13 a slice.
Did you go to the people and was like, this isn't right?
No, we went back to the hotel and ate it. It was disgusting. It wasn't all right. It was edible, barely, barely edible. We were so disappointed, and I didn't want to because my stepdad bought it, and it was $13 a
No,
freaking
yeah, you
slice.
gotta eat it.
And didn't want to tell him, but I was like, Eddie, that was the worst pizza. And he goes, yeah, it was. And I'm like, okay, I'm glad
I'm glad you
wasn't just
understand.
I'm glad I wasn't just being an asshole.
All right, so now we're in 2017. Now, 2017 marked the year where it really just became me and my dad. My brother Connor stopped wanting to go on the trips. He just had no interest. My brother Cameron started to become too busy because he has a full-time job.
Big boy.
Big boy. 2017. My dad didn't know where to go. And I asked him a very simple question because I never actually knew. I asked him where he went to college. My dad went to college. He went first 2 years in NCCC to get his basic electives. And then he went to Creighton, Nebraska to get his bachelor's degree. It was, at the time, they gave him a good scholarship, and I guess it was between Creighton and Buff State for him. And I think he wanted to be away from home.
There's so many other options than
Okay, do you know how old my dad is?
He's not that old.
How old do you think my dad is?
54.
54! Is that your final answer?
That's my final answer.
His birthday is the 21st, which is actually when we're leaving. My dad will be 67.
Your dad looks good for 67.
I know.
You got some good genes.
My dad's 67. He went to college in the 70s. People didn't go to college usually in the 70s, so there weren't a lot of colleges to choose from in the 70s.
Nebraska.
And he went to Nebraska. I think it was between, like, at the time he was going through his scholarships, and he found that it was either going to Buff State, and it was either going to Buff State or going to Creighton. And I think he wanted to go away. I think he wanted to be away. So he went to Creighton, Nebraska for 2 years. And I asked him, I remember that year I asked him, I was like, how long has it been since you've been to Creighton? It's like, I haven't been there since I left. So I asked him, this was like 4 years ago. He hadn't gone to Creighton, Nebraska. I was like, do you keep up with anyone? Apparently, since my dad was like 30, he had been keeping in touch with his old college roommate. And his old college roommate is a really nice farmer, but he doesn't do emails that often. So they've been sending each other letters back and forth for over 25 years.
What?
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yes. And I was like, oh, so when's the last time you saw his name is Brian? I was like, oh, when's the last time you saw Brian? I was like, I haven't seen him in 40 years. So I was like, okay. I planned this trip. So I was like, okay, you know what? How about we go to Nebraska?
Go
That was
see go see good old Brian.
we went to Nebraska. We went to South Bend, which is where Notre Dame was. Dad's big football fan, so he liked that there. And we drove all the way into a circle, and the main destination was we spent 2 days in Omaha, Nebraska. And
Okay.
funny enough, my dad was able to contact his friend Brian, and we find out he lives literally a town over from Omaha, Nebraska, because he's a farmer there. And he came to meet up with us there. It was really nice. And the man, same age as my dad, the first thing I heard the man said as soon as I met him was, I hope, and he spoke in in this exact accent. I'm trying to be very accurate. He said, I hope you guys don't mind when I sit down because of my sciatica. And I was like, you're great. I love you already. I mean, the
How did
man,
he sit down?
he sat back down on a nearby bench because we met at the university.
Okay.
And then my dad and him started I started following them around. They started walking around the university. They were talking about, "Oh, that's the building we used to go to our lectures." It was a really
That's
nice trip because basically I was like, my dad has a lot of friends, of course, but this was a man he's been talking to for over 25 years, constantly, like weekly. And I was like, this was nice. And the best thing that man said was, I asked him, I was like, so, Brian, was my dad a chick magnet? And he said, and I quote, no. That's probably my favorite trip. Because we went all the way around. We went to St. Louis afterwards, and then my brother Cameron met up with us from Plain and drove back with us, and it was really nice. It was really nice because I got
that's
to
good.
meet Brian, and I got to learn more about my dad, really, because
That's
he's had a
cool.
long life. Then in 2018, this was a year before I graduated. This was a year before you graduated, so it was the time where I had to start thinking about colleges. So we went on a huge college tour, and really we just basically stayed in the East Coast, but we had a huge college tour that ended in New York City. Um, and because at the time I was really dead set on going to Stony Brook for college. That didn't happen, but
Obviously.
we went to New York City, and it was also really fun. Me and my dad walked around a lot more, and it was really nice.
You didn't get mugged?
I didn't get mugged. All five
That's
times
good.
I've been to New York City, I didn't get mugged. I even walked around New York City by myself at one point the last time I was there, and I didn't get mugged.
That's good.
I was very happy. I was even in Brooklyn walking down a hill at
That's
night, and I
scary.
didn't get mugged.
It's very scary.
It was actually pretty nice. It was a really relaxing. I'll go over that trip another day. So that was 2018. 2019 was like the big. 2019, we went
The big one.
we went right as soon as my dad retired. So my dad in 2019 retired as soon as after I graduated and the day before we went on our trip.
Okay.
And he was like, it was a long time coming. He was really happy when he was able to retire. And we didn't have anything huge planned, but we did go. We did basically just go down the East Coast, and we went down to Atlanta and back up, and we saw a lot of baseball games. That was the big thing about it. We saw a lot of baseball games. We
Cool.
saw my aunt and uncle in Georgia, and it was nice. And then last year, what the hell did we do last year? Oh,
Yeah,
that's
I know
right.
what you did last
You
year.
did know it. So last year was actually my dad was planning on going to Las Vegas to Los Angeles, but then COVID happened, and people at my work were like, "You really shouldn't go out that far, and you shouldn't go on a plane," because that was his plan. So he changed it to where we ended up just going to Yellowstone, and we saw Mount Rushmore and all other awesome stuff, and then we drove back. and we made sure at the time to like not stay in a state for 24 hours, and most of the time we were in a car anyway. And it was really fun. And
I remember that. I remember you had to quarantine and get COVID tested as soon as you got back.
I didn't quarantine for long because I remember I got COVID tested and
Oh yeah.
I got negative result like 2 days after, so I was able to go immediately back to work. But
And then you guys moved.
yeah, literally the day after we got back, we moved.
I remember that.
It was nice. That trip was really fun. It was really relaxing. Especially since I didn't really have any school going on or anything. I remember the coolest part of that trip. We went to Yellowstone National Park and we saw literally at one point in the trip, like 10 feet from us was a huge buffalo. Like we were in our car and then my dad went, look, and it was just right there, just moseying around. I was like, oh,
appeared in front of
oh,
you.
hello there. But the coolest part of that trip was the Badlands. Oh my god. Have you ever been to the Badlands, Noah?
Nope.
Noah, first off, we're going on a trip together in the future. You know this already.
And we gotta vlog it.
And we will vlog it if we still have a YouTube channel.
We will still have a YouTube channel.
We'll the Badlands is so beautiful. The Badlands is literally just, it looks like Mars. It's just hills upon hills and valleys and canyons upon canyons. It's just, later on, and I'll put some pictures up right here of the Badlands just so people can get a somewhat understanding. Noah, it was so nice. You could have probably hiked the Badlands for days, not just hours, for days. On purpose, of course, not just like getting lost or anything, but you could like spend days on that and just be relaxing. It was so nice. It was the coolest part of the trip. And then as we were heading toward Yellowstone, we were driving through the Badlands. And it was just, we like different amounts of mountains and different curvatures, and it was so beautiful. It really was nice.
Huh. I would love to go. I would love to go see it.
When we
I've
go,
never been to Yellowstone.
when we go on our 50 states tour, where the Essential Men take over America.
Yes, our tour.
And yeah,
we'll have a show.
And yeah, that was last year's trip. So that was 12 years of consecutive trips that me and my dad have taken. And it really is nice. I learn a lot about my dad on these trips. It's really nice.
The last time I took a trip was 3 years ago, and that was Vegas. Vegas was my last trip.
Yes.
So I'm excited to go to Presque Isle, and then next weekend, not this upcoming weekend, but the next upcoming weekend, me, my dad, my stepmother, and my girlfriend are all going to the Herkimer Diamond Mines, and we are going to go mining. And we're playing
awesome.
Minecraft in real life.
You're playing Minecraft?
In real life, not even VR.
That's really cool. That's awesome.
Yeah. So I'm gonna hopefully make some bank and get some diamonds.
I think one of these days we should do a podcast where we go more in depth of the lives of Frederick Paul Queso Jr. and what's your dad's name?
My dad's name is Randy.
Randy Green? Yeah, one of these days we're gonna talk more about Frederick Paul Queso Jr. and Randy Green.
Okay. I'm down for that.
Other than that, I think that ends today's podcast.
Why? Why, Trey?
Why do we have to end?